ID Alliance presents this week's short attention span sales tip. Good morning, it's Bill Farquharson, and I want to talk to you about some events that made it out of Las Vegas, the things that we didn't have to leave behind. I was in Vegas a couple of weekends ago now, depending on when you're watching this. I was at the International Sign Show, and I had given a couple of presentations, and then a couple of my daughters flew in and their significant others, and Jennifer flew in for me, and we had 6 of us total, and we went to a bunch of shows. When I say we hit Vegas hard, that's how, when you're the father of drama geeks, theater geeks, this is how you hit Vegas. And we went to a number of shows. The first one was a mind-reading magician called Paranormal. It was at Bally's, if you're going. Unbelievable. Absolutely incredible. And blew our minds. If anybody can stand in front of you and say, guess a number between 1 and 100, and he writes it down and you say 35, and he turns it around and says 35. He does it right in front of your eyes, and the meet and greet afterward. You've got my great commendation on your skill, because that one just blew our minds. Next one was Michael Jackson's One, which was ridiculously amazing. It was worth every penny of the $100 a ticket that we paid, and by we, I mean me, of course, but it was phenomenal. The third show was one called K.A. It was by Cirque du Soleil. And I didn't care for it, quite honestly. I thought it was Midland. I just didn't like it. Big deal. But what I found interesting was I'm looking around during the show and before the show, I noticed that there were a lot of empty seats. And I'm thinking to myself, this is a lost opportunity for Cirque du Soleil. Wouldn't it be interesting if somebody in the audience could figure out how to get more people to come? It was a business opportunity, and that's the tip that I have for you today. After all is said and done with the idea of buying lists and choosing vertical markets, a great place to start is in your own life. Prospecting by driving around, prospecting by looking around. Make certain that you are doing 2 things. Number 1, be sales focused. There's a business side to everything. Everything. We have a Whole Foods going in, a brand new Whole Foods. They just tore it out down one in Wayland. They're building another one in Sudbury, where I live. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so they're going to have to build a clientele. Now, everybody knows Whole Food, but there's a business side to that. I was talking to somebody recently about the fact that I've just written my last tuition check. I'm going to fly to China in a few weeks and go see my daughter Madeline, my youngest, graduate from NYU Shanghai. And yet, now that I've done that 3 times, I've gone through the college admission process with each one of my girls, I could hold a conversation with the admissions director, which I think might be rather interesting. Well, these are things in my life. I've bought cars before. I've worked with nonprofits before, and all of these have a business side to it. Are you paying attention? Are you staying sales focused? Are you asking the kinds of questions that are going to lead to activity? You're driving into work one day and you look over and there's a big apartment building that's going up and it's almost done. And you think, oh, great, more traffic. You just missed something. Someone at that apartment complex is losing sleep trying to figure out, how am I going to fill this as fast as possible? Or you hear about a mall that's struggling. That's a business opportunity. And you've got to pay attention to these things. These are non-bid opportunities, kids. This is where you walk in and you say, hey, I've got an idea. Let me ask you some questions about your business. Let me learn something else about what you're trying to do, what you've done in the past, who your target market is. Let me ask some open-ended questions. Because here's the thing. You might never have been the property manager of a huge apartment building. So you don't have the answers. But you don't need to know the answers. You just need to know the questions to ask. And this is the conversation that takes you out of the bidding process. And it's a free conversation. And it's very similar to the same conversation you'll have over and over and over again with a college, with an automobile dealer, with a church, with a nonprofit. This is a muscle skill that has to be built. And it's not something that comes naturally to most of us. We don't think about that. We think, well, what are their print opportunities? Where's the packaging? Do they have labels? Do they have wide format? Things like that. Well, all of that is good too, but that's going to get you, you're going to walk down a road that ends in your price is too high. And you shouldn't be surprised. If you're getting nothing but quoting opportunities and you're not getting the business, well, no kidding. If you lead someone down a dark alley at night, you're going to get mugged. That's just how it works. You led them down to the price conversation and you got mugged over price. And that's not the customer's fault. That's your fault. Pay attention. Be sales focused. Ask the questions. How are they going to fill it? How are they going to fill that building? How are they going to fill these seats behind me at that, I thought, terrible show called Ka? I thought Cirque du Soleil missed that one, except for the part where the stage went from horizontal to vertical and the people on it kept doing their thing and fighting. That was pretty amazing. I'll give you that, but it wasn't worth the money. But still, there's other people, you're thinking every single person that's not sitting in a seat is $100 or so of lost revenue. So where's my sales call? I'm going to walk in, I'm going to call them up, and I'm going to say, I want to talk to you about how I can help you to fill those empty seats. Hey, apartment building manager, I want to talk to you about how I can help to put people in those apartments. Who's your target market? What have you done before? What's worked? What hasn't worked? What's your differentiator? These kinds of questions, they cost nothing to get answers to, and they're going to help you to determine which of all of the products and services you've got to sell that you can bring into the conversation. So anyway, that's it for me. I'm in the office, Monday and then half of Tuesday, and then I'm back out on the left coast, not Vegas this time. Had a great time in Las Vegas. So I've never had such a good time in Las Vegas as I did this time. First time I went there, I'll never forget, because the guy who I was waiting for was late by an hour and a half, true story. And he showed up and he sat down and he said, I'm so sorry I'm late, but I'm selling my house and I had to dig something up out of the backyard. That was his excuse for being late. Great one-liner, delivered it with a straight face. I do not know if it was a pile of cash or grandma. And with that, I will leave you. And I'll talk to you all next week on another sales tip. Have a great selling week, everybody.